Okay, we should be live here on audio. Hey guys, Kapper here. Welcome back. So I'm going to do a real quick update on our Missouri farm. There's a couple of things that we've been hung up on, that being the survey and the appraisal. So the appraisal's been ordered. It's a big, this is a lot of money, a lot of property. The appraiser couldn't finish until the survey was done. So just literally today, April 24th, a couple minutes ago, I got the rough survey map from the surveyors through the realtor. Problem is, it didn't include the actual acreage count. But let me show you what we got. So this is the map right here, the new survey map. So you could see the driveway is all included, which is spot on, wonderful. It turned out to be a good thing. They did say that our map that I had made of the 280 acres, they said that was only like 265 acres. But ironically enough, if you overlay these two maps, they're virtually identical. So either way, as long as we're getting the full 280, I had a discussion with the realtor. I said, okay, we need the actual acreage count because the appraiser is going to need that. Why are these maps important? That's another thing I want to talk about before I forget. But if you're within like a quarter acre-ish or so, you might be okay. But if you're buying 280 acres and let's say the surveyor, for whatever reason, comes out at like, 277 and a half, or 278. Well, now you're talking 2 acres at, 4,000 or 5,000 an acre. So then you're going to want to put an amendment to the offer. For whatever reason, like I said, whether it's over or under, you average out your acres and say, okay, it was 2 acres over for this reason or 2 acres under, and you adjust the purchase price accordingly, provided you have a buyer and seller that you can do it all together and be reasonable about the whole thing. So it's after hours, so I don't think we're going to get our acreage count by the time I get this video up here tonight, but it's just a quick update. So, as a matter of fact, coincidentally, the banker texted me this morning and said, hey, waiting on the appraisal, do we need the survey? Have you heard anything? And I said, I'm supposed to hear today, which I did. So here's the rough map. So here's a couple of things on why these surveys are so important. One of them being obviously the access, the driveway. So we're going to own the driveway, and I'm going to do a separate video down the road on that. But we had to pay for that in a lot of different ways, in several different ways. We had to pay for it. Trust me, we paid for it. But that's not for today's video. But just the access is important. It needs to be surveyed. As we learned on several farms, we got burned like badly. I mean badly on one of our Missouri flip farms on the access and the survey. That's a whole nother story. But anyways, on this property, we will own all the way out to that dead end. You look up there in the corner, the actual public road. We'll own that entire road. So the parcels that they're still selling are up here on the upper left and on the lower right. So they had almost 600 acres. So we'll be sharing this section of the road, not the whole road. When you get to our 280 corner there, which is actually going to be 276, give or take, no one can go past that. So we'll basically own the very end of the dead end. But other reasons this is important is because if we have to sell, if we can't afford this thing, we may have to sell a chunk of this land, and it doesn't lay out the greatest for that, I'm going to be honest, but we could consider, selling maybe a 40 or a 50 acre parcel up here. Again, if we had to, absolutely had to, we got to have a backup plan. That's why when we buy land, we try to buy as much as we possibly can at the time. Because, our home here in Illinois is 150 acres, and it's been really nice. That I find that to be kind of a comfortable minimum, about 150 acres without road frontage, because it lays out bigger. You look at this 280 we've got, and if let's just say this whole right-hand border here on the east, if this was all a road here, okay, you would effectively lose 40, 50 acres. if that was all road frontage. Now, you'd make more money because you could cut that in lots down the road if you had to. But from a privacy perspective and a hunting perspective and farming and all that, farming really is neutral. But this 280 actually lays out probably like, 320, 330, literally, because you don't have the road frontage. So that's just something to consider if you're looking at buying land. Road frontage is a double-edged sword. There's good and there's bad. Depends what you're after. So now, fingers crossed, the appraisal is going to get this appraisal done ASAP, so we'll know definitively, okay, is this sale going to go through or not? And then we got to get our butts moving on starting the move. There's some other stuff going on behind the scenes that I can't get into right now that plays into this. But anyways, here we are, April 24th. We have the rough map. Hopefully tomorrow morning, first thing, we'll have the actual acreage count. It should be within a half acre. I don't anticipate a problem with that because the map looks good. So anyway, stay tuned. Those are some reasons why surveys are so important, and access, not just access, but surveying the access as well and having it in a legal description. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. One day at a time. That's all we're doing right now. Thanks a lot.